Hello, beta. In today's lecture, we will go ahead and we will discuss all the important global institutions. Okay? All important global institutions, right? Beta, to begin with, the first important global institution that we have, it is called as UNDP, United Nation Development Program. Okay. अब हम जब when we talk about these, first of all, you need to understand that when we talk about these international bodies, these global bodies, then it is very, very important that you understand everything related to these bodies. मतलब आपको पता होना चाहिए कि what is the history of them, इनका क्या background रहा है, how they evolved. You have to understand what they work about, किस किस area में इनका काम रहता है. You have to understand what are the main initiatives that they have taken, right? And you have to also understand that what are some of the limitations or criticism. देखो, any body that will be formed will have its criticism. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि उसका कोई criticism ना हो. Yeah, someone will go ahead and always say that this is a biased body, it only takes care of developed nations, it only gives funds to developed nation. तो उसका what is the criticism, right? That also you have to go ahead and understand, right? Is that making some sense, beta? So the first thing that we want to go ahead and we want to do today is called as UNDP, United Nation Development Program. Okay. Now, when we talk about UNDP, please try and understand that the main aim of United Nation Development Program, that is to eradicate poverty, reduce inequality, and build resilience for sustainable development. This is its aim, right? What is its aim? Its aim is to go ahead and to eradicate poverty, right? So to ensure that you have less poverty across the globe, to ensure that you have less inequality across the globe. ठीक है. अब ये poverty and ये inequality remove करने के लिए it can go ahead and it can have various index that it can create. बहुत सारे अलग अलग index होते हैं जो वो create कर सकते हैं ताकि आप इसको measure कर पाओ, right? So this is its mission in one line, right बेटा? Now let me first talk about its history. ठीक है, कि UNDP फॉर्म कैसे हुआ था and what is the background behind it. So UNDP, बेटा, it was established in 1965. ठीक है. एंड ये जब UNDP बना, यूनाइटेड नेशन डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम बना, so it was created through merger of two United Nation organizations. Merger of two United Nation organizations, right? The first was called as Expanded Program of Technical Assistance. So it was called as EPTA, right? And the second was called as Special Fund, right? इन दोनों को merge करके, by merging these two organizations, we had gone ahead and created UNDP. ठीक है. After creating this UNDP, as I told you, the aim of UNDP was very clear that we want to do poverty elimination, reduce poverty basically, right? We want to give some technical assistance to developing nations. Right? And we want to move towards sustainable development. वी वांट टू मूव टुवर्ड्स सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट. ठीक है जी. अच्छा, नाउ when we talk about its early origin, तो यहाँ पर this expanded program of technical assistance, but this was created in 1949. ठीक है, 1949. And as the word suggests, it was to provide some technical expertise to the developing nation to promote their economic growth. ताकि ये grow कर पाए, ताकि ये developing nations grow कर पाए, इनको कुछ technical assistance provide करने के लिए expanded program of technical assistance was created. ठीक है. Similarly, when we go ahead and when we talk about the special fund, तो स्पेशल फंड इट वाज क्रिएटेड इन 1958. ठीक है. और स्पेशल फंड का क्या एम था? एज द वर्ड सजेस्ट, फंड. सो इट वाज एम्ड एट गिविंग फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट. It was aimed at giving financial support, right? For what? For development and for infrastructural needs of developing nation. For development and infrastructural needs of developing nation. ये बात क्लियर होती है बेटा? तो दो चीजें हमने पढ़ी. That expanded program of technical assistance, this was created. Why it was created? It was created to support, give technical assistance, as the word suggests, to developing nation in order to increase their economic growth. Right? And special fund was created in 1958. ये क्यों create हुआ था? As the word suggests, special fund माने to give financial support for development and infrastructural needs of the developing nations. ठीक है. Now both these organizations, they were merged in the year 1965 to go ahead and to form UNDP. और दोनों के जो goals थे, we unified those goals. Right? We went ahead and we unified those goals. Right? Now, when we talk about providing technical assistance, right, बेटा? तो जब हम ये technical assistance के बारे में बात करते हैं, technical assistance is basically to provide assistance in the educational sector, health sector, industrial sector, right? Technical assistance is also to build infrastructure, right? And to boost economic growth. To boost economic growth. ठीक है. Also, क्योंकि हमने यहाँ पे फंडिंग का भी बात किया ना, we have to also give funding. So along with giving technical assistance, it also goes ahead and it also provides training, expertise, and funding. किसके लिए बेटा? For national development projects. For national development projects. ठीक है. Now what we saw is that after this UNDP was established in 1965, so as we progressed 1970s में हमने देखा that these efforts they expanded. हाँ, there was an expansion of these efforts. हाँ, और इसमें उन्होंने कुछ नई चीजों को इंक्लूड करना स्टार्ट कर दिया. That they said that okay, you know what we should be doing is during 1970s, बेटा 1965 में ये फॉर्म हुआ. ध्यान से देखो. हाँ, 1965 it was formed. 1965 में it kept aiming towards these things. During the start of 1970s, what happened is that the goal expanded. So expansion of goals. And they added two new things to it. क्या दो चीजें ऐड की? They started talking about quality of life. And of course, all of you can, you know, remember, उन्होंने बात करनी शुरू कर दी ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडिकेटर्स की, ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स की, इंडिकेटर्स की. So during 1970s, they saw an expansion of their goals. उन्होंने बोला कि अच्छा नहीं, हमें सिर्फ डेवलपिंग नेशंस को एजुकेशन, हेल्थ, और ये सब में हेल्प नहीं करना है, बट वी ऑल्सो वॉन्ट टू लुक एट द क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ एंड एट ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स, राइट? नाउ ड्यूरिंग 1980s beta, there was a further shift in their goals, and there was a shift towards sustainable development. There was a shift towards सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट. तो अब वो सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट की बात करना शुरू कर दिया उन्होंने, राइट? सो दे सेड दैट ओके, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी वांट टू डू सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट, बट वी वांट टू लिंक थ्री थिंग्स टुगेदर. हमें तीन चीजों को एक साथ लिंक करना है. व्हाट आर दोस थ्री थिंग्स बेटा? लिंक बिटवीन पॉवर्टी, environmental degradation, and economic growth. Right? So they linked these three things together: poverty, environmental degradation, and economic growth. इन तीनों ही चीजों को हमने एक साथ लिंक कर दिया 1980s में. Is this making sense? ठीक है. So now what started happening and what we called that, it has a more holistic approach. UNDP has a more holistic approach. And what do we mean by a holistic approach? Holistic means overall growth approach. ठीक है, उसका एक बहुत ही overall growth approach है. Why? Because first of all, it is promoting environmental sustainability, but it is also keeping in mind the traditional goals of economic and social development. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि उसने ये छोड़ दिया इकोनॉमिक और सोशल डेवलपमेंट के बारे में बात करना. It's not that it has stopped talking about economic growth and social development. It was talking about that, but at the same time, it also started emphasizing on the sustainable development. It started integrating environmental concern with development project. तो development तो करेंगे ही, but environment को भी हम concern में रखेंगे. तो it started, please write with me beta, integrating environmental concerns into development projects. Environmental concerns into development project. तो उसने इन दोनों चीजों को एक साथ लिंक करना शुरू कर दिया, right? Now when this is 1980s, now when we talk about 1990s beta, तो 1990s में UNDP it launched Human Development Report. It launched Human Development Report, under which it introduced, of course ये हमने अलग से चैप्टर पढ़ लिया है, Human Development Index पे we have done it in detail, but under which it introduced the Human Development Index. ठीक है. और Human Development Index क्या है, what it does, we have already done that in detail. मैं इसके बारे में नहीं बात करने वाली हूँ ज्यादा, right? But this was a very critical tool, right? Because it started talking about international development policies, right? And highlighting global inequalities. तो अब इस टूल के अंडर, ड्यू टू द कमिंग अप ऑफ ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट रिपोर्ट, वी स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग अबाउट नॉट ओनली इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ, सिर्फ जीडीपी की बात नहीं कर रहे थे, वी स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग अबाउट द रोल ऑफ human capabilities. हमने अमर्त्य सेन कॉन्सेप्ट विच इज टॉकिंग अबाउट केपेबिलिटी अप्रोच, हमने उस बारे में बात करनी शुरू कर दी. वी स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग अबाउट केपेबिलिटीज, वी स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग अबाउट हाउ टू improve the quality of life, we started talking about education, we started talking about health. So this report can be said as, हम कह सकते हैं कि this was, we can go ahead and say that this report, it marked a paradigm shift. माने इसने पूरा का पूरा थॉट प्रोसेस ही चेंज कर दिया. जिस तरीके से हम अभी तक डेवलपमेंट को देख रहे थे, जो आइडिया ऑफ डेवलपमेंट था, वी कंप्लीटली चेंज्ड दैट. Right? Earlier, development was only economic growth. Development was only GDP. Development was only income. But now this development concept, it changed, beta. And we started talking about, instead of development, हमने किस बारे में बात करनी शुरू कर दी? I mean, instead of economic growth, instead of GDP, we started talking about human capabilities. We started talking about the quality of life, about how to improve quality of life, about global inequalities. तो जो हमारा thought process था वो पूरा का पूरा change हो गया. Is this making sense? Right. So then beta, in 2000s, then they introduced something which is known as MDGs. Millennium Development Goals. है ना? 2000 में हमने एक नई चीज के बारे में बात करनी शुरू कर दी, एंड विच वी स्टार्टेड कॉलिंग डाउन एज MDGs, मिलेनियम डेवलपमेंट गोल्स. ठीक है. अब ये मिलेनियम डेवलपमेंट गोल्स क्या हैं? अगेन देयर इज अ सेपरेट वीडियो ऑन दैट बेटा. आई हैव अपलोडेड इट ऑन द पोर्टल, आप वहां से पढ़ सकते हो. बट दिस इज सेट ऑफ 8 गोल्स established by United Nation in 2000 to lower poverty, to improve education, right? To promote gender equality, right? For reducing child mortality, right? Talking about diseases like HIV, AIDS, and lowering those diseases, etc. So basically, we want to go ahead and, with these 8 goals, we want to lower poverty, improve inequality, promote gender equality, reduce child mortality, talk about these diseases. इन सब के बारे में हमने ये 8 goals में बात करनी शुरू कर दी, right? And at the same time, UNDP started helping countries to formulate policies to aim at these goals. तो ये गोल्स को अचीव करने के लिए क्या स्ट्रैटेजी होनी चाहिए, क्या पॉलिसी होनी चाहिए, कैसे हम इसको मॉनिटर कर सकते हैं प्रोग्रेस को. हाँ, एंड इट स्टार्टेड आल्सो प्रोवाइडिंग फाइनेंसेस टू अचीव दीज गोल्स. And started helping monitoring, right, the progress, how much of these goals have been achieved. तो ये सब UNDP ने start कर दिया to formulate strategy to achieve the goal, to monitor the progress, and to go ahead and achieve financing for these. अगर आपको पैसा चाहिए, अगर आपको international cooperation चाहिए, that also it started funding. Then towards 2010 beta, UNDP started focusing on SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Again, but there is a special video that has been prepared and uploaded on the portal जो सिर्फ SDGs के बारे में बात करता है. You can have a look at it. But what started happening is that from MDGs, we started shifting towards Sustainable Development Goals. ठीक है. अब ये जो Sustainable Development Goals थे, they were also accepted in UN General Assembly in 2015. ठीक है. Sustainable Development Goals were 17 goals, ठीक है, which were also aiming to reduce poverty, to help protect the planet, right beta, to improve the peace, to ensure peace, prosperity, etc. And the aim was to achieve these sustainable development goals by 2030. अब exactly ये 17 sustainable development goals, I have already discussed this in development eco, so you can go ahead and have a look at these sustainable development goals. Now what UNDP did is कि ये sustainable development goals achieve करने के लिए, to achieve these sustainable development goals, it started working with government, NGOs and other organizations. ठीक है, अलग अलग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के साथ इसने काम किया so that it could align national policies with सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स, ताकि जो नेशन का थॉट प्रोसेस है, जो नेशन में बाकी चीजें चल रही हैं, नेशन का कुछ और एम हो सकता है कि आई वांट टू बिल्ड फ्लाईओवर, आई वांट टू बिल्ड हाउस, आई वांट टू बिल्ड हेल्थ केयर सेक्टर, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा, बट वी वांट टू अलाइन द नेशनल पॉलिसी विद द ग्लोबल पॉलिसीज ऑफ सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल and to monitor the progress. We also want to monitor the progress, right? So basically this is your history of UNDP. समझ में आया बेटा? What all UNDP does, how it was established, all this is clear? ठीक है, now let's just read this down. So key areas of work: sustainable development, supporting national development plans, promoting inclusive economic policies. फ्लैगशिप इनिशिएटिव दो मेन है, ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट रिपोर्ट एंड पॉवर्टी एलिवेशन प्रोजेक्ट। एग्जाम्पल प्रोजेक्ट्स देख लो, रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी प्रोजेक्ट टू बूस्ट रूरल इकोनॉमी एंड डिजिटल फाइनेंसिंग सर्विस फॉर द undeserved, underserved population. So we are providing financial services also. हम रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी की तरफ भी काम कर रहे हैं बिकॉज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट, राइट? वी आर ऑल्सो गोइंग अहेड एंड वी आर ऑल्सो सपोर्टिंग द नेशनल प्लान. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम नेशन के प्लान के अगेंस्ट हैं. प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, वी हैव टू अलाइन नेशनल पॉलिसी विद द ग्लोबल पॉलिसी. हमें उन दोनों को एक साथ अलाइन करना है, राइट? एंड वी हैव टू ऑल्सो टॉक अबाउट सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट. So this is about the United Nations Development Program. I hope this is absolutely clear to you.